So here we have a service that that we can gives us an entire data set that the client could use to be able to render a user interface. Right? So let's go back to the React side of this and see if we can retrieve this data and render it accordingly. Okay. All right. So on the React side, let's see what we have so far. Let's take a look at this. I think we have left with the course list. Let's see if we can get this started. This is the React side. Let's start it. npm. Let's make sure it gets branch. Are we in the right branch? Yep. So let's start it. So npm start. Okay. All right, here we go. So if we click on whiteboard, I believe this is where we left off yesterday. Right. So what we'd like to be able to do is, right now it's retrieving the entire set of courses. Right. And as I select a particular course, I like to display only the modules and lessons and topics for that particular course. Yes. All right. So let's do that. Let's create a route, right, that will navigate me from this particular component that lists all the courses, navigate me to a particular course-related module. So let's do that. Okay. Let's see. So we have the course list here, and it's being rendered right here. Right there we go. Right. So we have the course row, and the course row renders the title right here. You know, this is where it renders the title. So we want to create a hyperlink out of this, so that if we click it, it navigates to a different component. So let's do that. Let's create here a link. Do we have the link? Okay, we don't have the link, so we'll need to include that. Right. So let's include that. So we'll import a link from our router. So so I think it's React router DOM. And so this will allow me to create a link and say that this goes out to where? Let's see. This goes out to let's see, the slash course slash. So here I need something that is dynamic, right? This to path is dynamic. I can either calculate it here. I could say I can as part of this render function before I return. Right before I return, I can calculate where this should be. This should be what? Slash course slash the ID of the particular course. Right. So it's a dynamic to. It's a dynamic a string over here, right? So I can calculate it. One way to do it is to calculate it right here as an expression. As an expression, right? So I want something like this, right? I want something like slash course slash 2, right? So for instance, this would render. Oops, default link was not. Maybe I have to extract it. There we go. Yeah, so notice that if I hover over it, notice that, oh, you can't see it. Right there, course slash 2. Right? But I want this to be dynamic based on the ID of each one of the courses. Correct? Right? So the way we could do that, if I want to calculate it right here on the fly, I can create this and make this is an expression. It's an expression that I'm going to calculate what that is. All right? So it needs to be some string concatenated with the ID. Right? So I can do it using regular JavaScript. So this would be course slash, and then concatenated with this dot props dot course dot ID. Okay, that would work. If I hover over this, notice that it's 1. But if I hover over that one, right, notice that it's 2. So I'm calculating that path dynamically. Correct? Right? But there's a little better way of doing it. Not that much better, but it's a little better. And it's using template strings, okay, that work as follows, right? Meaning you can escape this whole thing using backticks, right? And say this is going to be a template, right, that you can embed instead of using the plus and concatenation, string concatenation. Oftentimes, string concatenation can be very error prone, right? Where especially if you have embedded single quotes instead of double quotes, it's just it's very easy to make a mistake. So this is what backticks allows you to do, is to be a little more easy to work with concatenating strings. So this will be a course, and then slash. And now this is not a, I want this to be an expression to evaluate it internally. So we're going to escape it, meaning that this is going to be an evaluated value, right? So this is a little better. If I go back, notice that it's identical. If I hover, we still have the 1, and we still have the 2. Okay, all right. So this is an alternative syntax, which is very, very common in React and new ES6. Okay, it's quite common. All right, so excellent. So if I click on it, notice that there's nothing mapped to that, right? We need a route to display something there, right? For instance, we would need maybe a course editor, right? The course editor would load that particular course. It would display that one course with only those modules and those lessons and those topics. Yes? So let's do that. Let's navigate to a course editor. So we'll do new file. This will be a course editor. And this will be import React from React. And for now, it'll do something like class, the course editor that extends React.component. And then it renders the following. Right now, let's keep it simple. It'll just come back with something that says H2 course editor. Right, and we're going to export this in the default package. All right. Okay. So back in the index where we would have our routes, let's declare a route, right? That it's going to render that particular component. Right. So we're going to say route path, and it's what is it? What was it? Course / course ID, was it? The course ID is going to be at the end, and the component that we want to display is the brand new course editor component, which we haven't loaded. We haven't imported it. So let's import that way at the top here. So we'll import it right here. We'll say import. Import course editor from down in containers and course editor. There we go. All right, there's course editor. So at the whiteboard, right, if we click on a particular course, it navigates to that course editor. Everybody okay? All right, excellent. The only other thing that we want to make sure is that we are grabbing that ID, right, that particular ID, and then loading that particular course. Right, and because that's the course that I want to render, right? The one for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, we need to be able to listen for that, right? And we'll do that next.